Today, I want to talk about what we can do instead of punishments and rewards. Raising great kids is a privilege and a responsibility. Sometimes our children can't see their own greatness. Sometimes we can't. Other times, we can see their greatness but struggle to step up because of our own challenges. We will be discussing the brain science, tools, and techniques that help us raise great kids. Hi. My name is Cynthia Armstrong. I'm a general and special education teacher. I homeschooled my own children for 5 years, and I talk about the things that I've studied and I've learned trying to help myself, my children, and my students. Today, I am talking about what we can do instead of punishments and rewards. And I did an episode on punishment and rewards last time. I will go ahead and put that link in the footnotes below so you can watch the whole thing if you want. But I do want to do a quick review just to help us move into what can we do instead. So rewards become an external motivation. And when there's an external motivation, there are tons of studies out there that show that that decreases internal motivation. And the way I like to think of internal motivation is our children actually taking on attributes that we would like them to have. So for example, if I'm rewarding them for accomplishing tasks or following rules in school or in home, then they don't learn to do that themselves. They don't take that responsibility on. They don't take that community on. They want that reward, and they don't feel happy or good about themselves unless they get that reward, or they also sometimes kids just want more and more. And so having that reward is really difficult. Plus, they call it positive behavior intervention and supports, PBIS. You'll hear that in many schools because it just supports positive behavior. We don't punish kids, they'll say. But what is the withholding of a reward? It is a punishment. And then some people on the other side say, we don't do punishments, we have consequences. And there is a lot around changing vocabulary, but the tricky part is that changing the vocabulary is really to help us change our energy and our attitude as the parents or the teachers in how we present it to our children. And if we just change the name, but we don't change that energy behind it, then it doesn't do what they were hoping that name change would do. So let's go into, well then, what do we do instead? So rewards is the same thing as punishment versus consequences. You can have a certain energy behind it. It can be the, oh, you did a good job. You accomplished this task. You followed this rule. You brushed your teeth and we got out to school on time. Whatever it is, then we say, wow, you did that thing. Here is a reward. You did a good job. So now you should feel good because I gave this to you. And so some people say, well, Cynthia, you're still giving rewards. In school, I do have like animals, and as they improve, they can move up in these different animals, and they're based on speed. I get this from Chris Biffle's Whole Brain Teaching. If you're a teacher and you would like to look into that, I recommend it. He's got a lot of really good things, and he's changing it all the time as he's learning new things. And so you can say that that is a reward. And the thing is the energy behind it is about improving, and not about, oh, I've accomplished this task, good job, you've accomplished this task or this skill, therefore I am going to reward you now. And so it's not about an end task, it's about improving. And so it's a visual means to help children see that they're improving. And so the focus isn't on being good or doing a good job, or you've mastered this skill or this rule. It's about continually improving. And it's not perfect. These are things that I'm probably going to find ways to do better even as I go. But it is that feeling of improvement, and not, oh, I am saying you've improved, and that's the only time you can feel like, wow, I've improved. It's just creating that, oh, always looking for, oh, what did I do well, and what can I improve in, right? So that is that growth mindset. It's promoting a growth mindset. It's not an all or nothing, you didn't, I'm letting you get away with something or you're not. And it doesn't matter where our children are in their academic skills or in their behavioral skills. It could simply be that they're improving. And so every child is capable of getting that improvement. And so, I've had children who are flipping over tables and destroying things. And so that child who's behaving in those kind of extreme ways, where I've even evacuated my other students before, they can still feel like they're improving and they're learning. And that is a motivation. That goes back to some of our psychological needs as people, children or adults, right? That they're having that growth, that they have that possibility in them, and they're not saying, oh, I'm a bad kid. There's kids that have come to my class that come in and they tell me, they just look me in the eyes and say, I'm a bad kid. And well, I try not to, sometimes in the past I've gotten that broken heart for them, but then I'm like, wait, that's not an energy I want to give them, because that encourages them to believe that they're a broken kid. So that's an attitude that I've changed to help these children understand that they're not bad kids. They're not broken, and just that's who they are, is bad kid. And so I've kind of like, oh, well, and I'll have them, well, why do you think that, kind of thing, so that I can see where they're coming from, so that I can help them break those unhelpful patterns when they're in my class. Or I've also done it for myself so that I can improve in things and break some of my habits. And I've also done it for my own children. So looking for improvement, having a growth mindset, being okay with that we're not perfect or we didn't fully accomplish that, but being able to see, but look at what I did do. And yeah, this is life. There's always improvement, and this is what I'm going to try next. And this works for academics, writing their names, or any math or anything. If they can just see their improvement, it doesn't become this, oh, I can't do that, I don't want to do that, shut down, because I don't want to feel like I'm incapable. I don't want to go through those emotions, because it's the improvement that allows us to work through those, rather than, oh, I just can't do math. or whatever skill it is that they're struggling with. And so look for improvement. And then when it comes to punishment versus consequences, punishment often has that feeling, oh, if I did it bad, I did it wrong, I'm not a good person, or they don't love me. It comes with a lot of, I wasn't who they wanted me to be, so I've lost their love. And so that's kind of the struggle. And when we moved to saying it's consequences, we were hoping that that would change, to that it takes out that we don't love you aspect. But then what we found is it depends on if we as the adults changed the feelings or the intentions we put behind punishments versus consequences, or if we just moved those over. So for example, if we say, you didn't do XYZ, so you're losing 33 seconds of recess, and we do it with kind of that, you did this to yourself, that was wrong, that was bad, I'm going to teach you by punishing you so you remember next time. So even though I viewed the consequence for that is, if my attitude is still judgmental towards them, if I withdraw my affection because they've been really annoying or things like that, then it still comes across as that feeling of punishment. So what I like to do is, I like to give them practice, because it's just about improving. If we're working on improvement, then how is that feeling different than, hey, I've really noticed you've been struggling with, um, not calling your sister names, or not talking out in school, or whatever the thing that they're trying to improve in is. I've noticed that you've really been struggling with that. And, we've done, this, that, and the other thing. I've reminded you at family meetings, or, things like that, or I've given you an opportunity to do this, and it seems like you're still struggling to do this. So we're going to practice that. And it could be the same thing, the 33 seconds of recess. But instead of saying, you lose 33 seconds of recess because, or you lose this TV show because, at home, if we're home, or whatever it is where we've given them that consequence or that punishment before, what if it's, I'm giving you this opportunity to practice with me. So, if it's, calling out at school, then for 33 seconds of recess, they get to hang out with me, and we're going to practice that, because I want them to, because I want them to feel like, hey, I'm successful, I am responsible for my behaviors. It teaches that responsibility, but it's not a punishment, it's an opportunity to practice so that they can, more quickly improve in that. And the same thing at home, you're going to come home instead of go to practice because XYZ didn't get done. You didn't clear off your dishes, or you didn't put your laundry away. And again, it's not we immediately go there if they didn't do those things, but we've reminded them, we've given them opportunities, it's come up in family meetings, things like that. And then when it still doesn't get done, then we give them that opportunity to practice. And they might rebel and say, but the team, or but this, and they will come up with why that's not okay with them. And it's like, well, I've given you these opportunities, we've discussed it, and so this is how, I'm choosing to help you to improve in that area. And don't back down, because children will try and guilt you. They really will. But just give them that opportunity to experience the pain, because what is pain? It's another episode I've taught if you want to go back and look up that one. But it's that opportunity to change. It's that opportunity to make those improvements. And if we don't let them feel that pain sometimes, when they're really struggling to learn or to improve in that skill, then that's um, us allowing them to stay kind of stuck and not take that responsibility. So remember, children are great by their very natures, and we have that opportunity, that privilege, and that responsibility to raise them. Hi friends, Cynthia Armstrong here. Thanks for joining us today. Please make sure that you subscribe to our channel so you can see when new videos come out, and like this one. It is such a responsibility and a challenge to raise great kids, and we are here to help you along that journey to make it as enjoyable and fun and fulfilling as possible. Please check out our website, www.raisinggreatkids.net, and I will leave that in the description below.